running. Right, first things first, let's get the stick loaded on board. Can't really do a lot without that these days. Choke on, ignition on, and engine running. Sounds good to me. Bit bright as we head up towards our shit corner. But anyway, I'd rather have it bright than raining. The plan today, meet up with a few folks just outside the Ludlow farm shop, and then on to Craven Arms to meet up with a few more. Then a ride over to Archie Lily's Caff in what used to be Harry Tuffin's but is now the Co-op at Church Stoke. So let's get on with it. Hello, I see an oss up in front. I'll let that happily get out of the way. It's going up there, okie doke. Still go quiet anyway. A quick fill up now, save me doing it later on, and it wasn't far off going on to reserve anyway, so do it now while we got time. Cutting the edges. Only trouble is, and I've done this, there's thorns all over the road. I would not be surprised if in the next couple of days I find I've got a flat tyre. Let's hope not. I see the pedalophiles are taking advantage of the nice weather too. Can't say as I blame them. Is that the lot? Oh, another two. Yeah, that's the lot. A rather nice rainbow up in front as we approach the Ludlow farm shop at Bromfield. Now the camera really doesn't do it justice, I'm afraid. And there's Jonathan waiting. We did have 2 or 3 little spots of rain for a minute or so while we were standing out, but we were the only two, so after a minute or two we pressed on to meet the others up at Craven Arms. And as we roll up at Craven Arms, Richard, Steve and Mark are already there waiting, and about 10 minutes later Andy rolled up, so we now had a full complement. So with Jonathan leading and Mark taking up the position of tail end Charlie, off we go. Hopefully the next stop will be Archie Lily's Caff at Church Stoke. And just down the road we leave Shropshire and we cross the border into Wales. There we go, we're now in Wales. And here we are, Church Stoke and Archie Lily's Caff. I went for the beef stew on chips, which I have to admit I do like and I did enjoy, and that was followed with fruit crumble and custard. Oh dear, will I never learn. With Steve now leading the way, our next stop is going to be the visitor centre at the bog, and this is the last weekend before they close until next March. Back in the 1980s, when you saw that stone building there on the left, that was a landmark to tell you that coming up on the right was the Moor Arms pub, sadly not a pub anymore, which was the venue for many a rally back in the day. Oh well, times change. Us up in front. Now let's slow it down and go quietly. And that's the way to do it. I must admit, I do like rolling through the Shropshire countryside. No great rush, don't have to be anywhere for any specific time. Just roll along and take it all in. And the Bog Visitor Centre. It was fairly packed, but we managed to get a seat without too much of a problem. We got there just in time because as we were leaving they'd run out of everything except carrot cake. So that was a bit of good timing. Time to head for home, and I had to do a little bit of wiggling to get the drifter past the car that was parked quite correctly in the disabled bay. But the drifter is a rather long, heavy old thing to maul about, but we got out in the end without any problem really. A string of bikes rolling through the Shropshire countryside towards the Long Mind on what can only be described as a glorious November afternoon. And as we start to climb up the Long Mind, most of the leaves are definitely now on the floor, and a little bit of rain has just started. Some of the bends were a bit awkward because with the rain on the screen you can't quite see where the front wheel is, and there's all manner of stuff in the middle of the road round here. The rain stopped, the sun's back out, so give the lens a quick wipe. That's better, we can see again now. A few of the native horses there on top of the Long Mind. Rather ominous black cloud over to the left, and that is the way we're going. With any luck it will have blown over by the time we get there. And down the steep bit back into Church Stoke. I'm just glad I was not on the trike today, because there's not a lot to stop you going off the edge here. When I say not a lot, I mean nothing. So if you're a bit nervous, don't look down. And at the lights at Church Stoke, we say farewell to Steve as he trots up the A49 to Shrewsbury. And I hang back and go slow and wait for Andy because he caught the lights on red. And as we head into Longville, there's another rather glorious rainbow over on the left. and we head up Wenlock Edge with golden light is the only way you can describe it this time of year. There was another rainbow, but sadly camera didn't really pick it up. Yes, today has indeed been a day of chasing rainbows. And at Much Wenlock we say farewell to Jonathan and Mark as they carry on towards Bridge North, and we go down towards Ironbridge, the A4169, the road from Much Wenlock down to Ironbridge. Another one of those roads that's quite a pleasure to ride, and you can see it a bit better now there's not so many leaves. We're coming up to the world's first iron bridge, cast and erected in 1779 and opened in 1781, with a span of 100 foot 6 inches, and it weighs 378 tons. I thought it would have been heavier than that, but there you go. That's what it says here. For November, there's still a bit of colour in the trees, and this glorious afternoon sunlight does help a bit. And as we roll through Womben with the sun at our back, won't be long before it's dark now. About 4:30 as we round Oshit Corner, and yep, it's just getting dark now. Once again, it's been a decent day out. The weather was more than kind to us. The food at Archie Lily's Cafe was good. So was the cake and coffee at the Bog Visitor Centre. Don't know how many more mild, dry days we're going to get, but until the next one, see you later.